intro for the frickin' win. Anyway, got a battle here, probably the most epic slash gay battle you will ever see. Mainly because it has some game-breaking hacks that makes you want to tear your eyes out in pain at how ridiculous it is and how broken hacks can be. Anyway, so basically KonQr said to me, I want to test a team. I was like, cool, sounds pretty good. One condition was that he wanted me to whore the fuck out of him, so he made me get like the most whorish guys I could think of and put together a random team of whores. So I took some whores and slapped them up a bit and made them look, alright. And so basically we're on Vent, and me and Ferris like teamed up, and KonQr and JC teamed up, and it was like a tag team battle, and it was freaking awesome. And it lasted like an hour, and it was just freaking amazing. So I'm gonna do some more of those because it's just freaking win. And here is the result of our fun. Yeah, so hope you enjoy, and this is going to be a two-parter because it's so ridiculously long. Okay, here we go. So there's KonQr on Wi-Fi, waiting for me to reply, and I do, and we're in. We're in. Let's go. So I lead off with a Mence. This is a bulky Mence, Death Stare. I got it from Twashman a long time ago. This is like the first time I've actually used it, which is kind of funny. He leads off with a Jeff, which is pretty win. T-Tar, and I'm kind of talking to Ferris here, thinking about what to do. Don't quite know what to do, so I decided to switch anyway to Donphan because, might as well. He obviously feared my Mence, so he switched out too, didn't feel too safe switching in, and I got the unfortunate switch disadvantage there, so he's got Rotom in, and Donphan is not going to do a lot against Rotom. And I'm fearing the Trick Scarf, so I'm going to have to switch. So I go to Heatran, predicting the Scarf, tricking. And he actually Shadow Balls and gets a crit, so that's one of the first hacks of the match. That wasn't a massive one, to be honest. I mean, it was not a very effective crit, which was meh, I guess. It didn't really matter all that much. But, crit's a crit, and crits can be gay if in the wrong circumstances. So he goes out to the bane of my life, Cradley, which has now got access to Curse. And seriously, if this thing stays in UU, I'm going to, hit some people because it's a freaking motherfucking beast. So I switch out because obviously I cannot do a thing to it with Fire Blast, and I'm locked on. So I go to Donphan, maybe trying to spin some rocks I thought he might set up, and then I switch out to Scizor, because I realized Donphan couldn't really do anything, and I go for a U-turn here probably. I think I do anyway, and U-turn's gonna do pretty much nothing to Forry, but he thinks out quite a bit and he decides to stay in. So I get the U-turn and I'm gonna switch, and can't quite remember what I switched to. I think about this for a while, I guess. I do go to Donphan because I want to spin some shit, and I don't want him setting up rocks or anything, and I want to set up my own rocks. So now I predict the switch to Rotom, so I'm not going to rapid spin this turn. I'm going to go for a stealth rock, and hopefully just, that will help me quite a bit. So he stays in and actually goes for spikes, so that could have been useful if I was able to rapid spin there, but hey, it doesn't really matter. And now I'm going to not rapid spin. I'm going to switch to Gengar, predicting a switch to Rotom because that's so freaking win, and that was like an awesome prediction. Problem now is that he has Tyranitar on the wings, and if I go for a Shadow Ball on this Rotom, even though I know I'll outspeed and KO it, he's going to switch to T-Tar. T-Tar, if I get a Shadow Ball on that, would be, that would do damage, but the problem is that T-Tar carries Pursuit most likely. So I don't want to stay in and Shadow Ball the Rotom fearing T-Tar switching, which I know he will do. So I switch out to Donphan, predicting his switch to T-Tar, which worked out freaking amazing. And now I'm going to just, go for a spin or some rocks. I think I go for a spin because I don't think because I've been over-predicting so much, I think he might not over-predict. But he does go for the prediction and dodges the rapid spin. So that was good on his part. Even if I'd gone for EQ, it wouldn't have done anything to Rotom, so that was fine. So I'm going to switch now, and I'm going to go to Heatran, mainly because, that's the best thing to take any hit from Rotom. And I'm not going to be able to live anything else, so I just decided to stay in with Heatran now. I think I go for the Earth Power because it doesn't actually matter if he stays in and I Earth Power because I can go and Revenge Kill it with something else. So I think I do go for the Earth power because I think about this quite a lot. Mainly because I'm talking to Ferris and he's like talking to me as well. But he actually goes to Azumarill and Earth power hits that better than Fire Blast would ever do. So that did a decent amount, I guess. And he doesn't have lefties, so I'm guessing it's choice banded. No point in switching Heatran out because I don't think it's really useful to me anymore. Even though I could spin with Donphan, I don't really want to try and do that because he's still got Rotom running around and the chances of me getting spin off are pretty minimal. So I go out to Gyarados and this was like ridiculous. Basically, I go for the Waterfall because I predict his switch to Rotom. And he thinks about this move for a ridiculously long time. As you can see, the bar's just going round and round and spinning. And, I mean, this was probably why this match lasted so long, because for a couple of turns, either of us were thinking for a ridiculous amount of time. Mainly because we were, like, talking to our teammates. So I was, like, talking to Ferris saying, yeah, I'm just going to Waterfall. And then I clicked it. So obviously he was like having a chat with JC and they were like, nah, he's gonna Dragon Dance, nah, he's gonna go for a Waterfall, nah, dude, you gotta switch, dude. And you know, that's kind of what they were doing. And he thinks for, as you can see, this is like what, maybe a minute of just sped up times 4, and there we go. Finally he switches, he goes to Fortress and I Waterfall, hit the thing, and that was good. That was good for me. So now I've got a few options here. I could Dragon Dance, but then I'm fearing his switch to Rotom. I'm talking to Ferris here about what I should do. So I also fear that he might explode on me. So if he explodes on me, that's not going to be good for me because I'm going to lose Gyarados, and Waterfall won't do anything to it. I look at my team to see if there's anything I could feasibly switch to take an explosion, and I don't feel safe switching at all. So I mean, I was talking to Mikey Falcon because he was Ember, because he was on the chat as well, and I was waiting for Ferris to come back and consult him, and we were all just thinking about completely like amazing things to do and trying to outpredict. And then Ferris says, "Why don't you just play dumb?" Because you know sometimes playing dumb works, and if your opponent is a good player and they're gonna predict and overpredict, then sometimes playing dumb can get you into a good situation, if you know what I mean. So after a lot of thinking time, as you can see, I'm looking at my team still, probably talking to Ferris, trying to find out what the hell I should do. After a lot of this, I think I do decide to go for the Waterfall, just in hope for a flinch, because sometimes doing the dumb thing, as I said, is going to work. And evidently I've thought about this for a long time as well. So these two moves took an age. And he actually switches out to Azumarill. So that, I mean, me not switching, because I was thinking of switching to Gengar to take the explosion, but if I'd switched to Gengar, I would have got Aqua Jetted and freaking owned. So anyway, stay tuned for part 2, which will be up soon. Dun dun dun!